Good morning, Francesca Elisabetta here. I want to talk about the Best of Italy's Hilltop Villages cultural experience. Trip 1 for 2024 sold out in 2 weeks. I was thinking that might happen, so I was slightly prepared with the driver and the hotel provider and my contacts over there for the possibility of a second trip. I have now set up a second trip, which in the video or the email that this is coming through to you on, there should be a link, and that'll bring you to the second trip. I'm doing this from memory. I think it's June 8th through the 18th, but you really need to look at the link. And for the second trip, which has 7 positions, 4 are already sold out. So each day somebody can sign up. So if you're interested, I think you need to kind of reach out, contact me. If you contact me on Messenger, you can go through the portal to fill out the questions and have it sent to me that way. I'm more than willing to do a telephone call or a video call with you. And I've done this with tons of ladies. We just sit on the phone and chat. I interview, I find out, what's your experience? What's your issues? What are you thinking about? Where are your glitches? Where are your problems? What are the circumstances in your life? What are your fears? And then I try to answer the questions on the cultural experience. This 10-night cultural experience is equivalent to when you see tours that say 12 days, because most of the American tours include your overnight flight on the plane, 24 hours to get over to the country, 2 different flights, layovers, all that. They count that as day 1. I don't play that game. You're getting 10 nights in a private room. I only have standard rooms left, 3 standard rooms. I have no superiors. You could get a deluxe, which is more expensive, and it's like a personal suite. So I think there's some deluxe left. The total trip includes my driver, professional driver, picking you up at Fiumicino, SCO Airport. You have to arrive before 10 o'clock, by 10 o'clock in the morning on the date that it's specified. So you leave the country the day before. All the ladies that are coming in arrive at that time. My driver picks up the up to 7 ladies and brings you and your bags directly up to the 4-star hotel, where you check into your private room with a private bathroom. And yes, you're going to have a window. Okay, so there's not rooms that don't have windows. It is a boutique, upscale, epica residenza, which means a residential period. It's like goes back 1,000 years in the style of the decor for this particular noble family's home. You could say it's kind of like bed and breakfast, but it's much nicer. It's done in a historical time period. Beautiful buffet included. And the driver will pick you up on the specified day and then bring you back down to the airport on the specified day. So that's included. You have to buy your own airfare. It's a small group, max of 7 women. We have 4 in the second group right now. 4 is what I needed for the trip to be a go. So it's a go. Let's see, the first day when you arrive in the afternoon, I do an aperitivo complimentary opening session for everyone to meet each other. But in reality, 3 months prior to our takeoff, I invite you into a private group that has all kinds of videos and PDFs and links with all of my secrets of traveling and living internationally for the last 30 years. And so you will get to meet the women prior to arriving. So when you arrive, you know a little bit about the woman, the other women in the group. What else can I tell you? It's a cultural experience. I'm inviting you into my life. I've lived in this village full-time for 16 years. Right off this main piazza, I know everybody. I had my second heart surgery there in Rome, and so they all knew. I was in the medical system for the CVID, common variable immune deficiency, so I know everybody. My daughter went to school there. We're dual citizens, bilingual. I'm the most outgoing person you've ever met. They all love me and my daughter, and they love my ladies. They tell me I have a really nice group of Americans, because not all Americans are known for being well-behaved Americans. And so I always try to tell my ladies, where are the mistakes culturally? Please don't do that. Don't put your purse on the floor. It's a taboo thing, and if you come, I'll explain why. You don't pay for your individual lunch or dinner with your credit card when there's 7 people there and everybody wants to pay with their credit card. That's another faux pas in the country. Unless you're going to touristy places where you're getting lesser food at a higher price, then of course they're going to take your credit card. But the rest of the places, you don't get separate bills. It's not going to happen. And they are introduced to the locals. The first beginning of a full day, we do an entire walking tour through my village. We go to the pharmacy. I point out all the points of interest. I point out all the particular shops that have little things that you can buy that are artigiano, which means artisan made. And we just walk through my village, and you get to meet the locals because they all come up and want to know, how have you been? How's your daughter? And then I got to introduce you all, and you got to be able to greet them in Italian, and I'll teach you how to do that. We go to lunch and dinner on that day, and then the following day, we start our Hilltop villages going out in the vehicle. That first morning, not the morning you arrive, but the first morning that after you've slept there, we start later because I want you to all eat breakfast and go to the bathroom. I want your pipes cleaned. I don't want anybody being backed up because there's too much good food we're going to be eating. So I planned in a slower, later morning, that first morning when we do the tour, walking tour in Spoleto. And you get a lot of cultural explanations. And when you ask questions, I'll explain to you, these are the cultural lines. And I don't care how crazy it might seem to an American. They think we're crazy. We think they're crazy. You just got to kind of accommodate everybody's craziness on cultural issues. But the second morning you wake up, we start going out to our Hilltop villages. You will wake up in this 4-star hotel, your private room, private bath. You will eat the buffet breakfast, which is lovely there with Massimo and Anna. And you get ready, and all the ladies come out at a certain time, meet in a piazza right adjacent to the hotel. And our driver picks us up. The vehicle has 3 rows of 3. The driver and I sit in the 2 front seats, and there is 1 seat to the right of me and 6 seats in the 2 rows behind me, and the ladies have to take turns rotating, and off we go for an hour and 45-minute drive, usually on the average, sometimes an hour and a half, to get to the first Hilltop village. We then have 2 hours to walk around in the village, sightsee, go in, food sampling, tastings, buying things, going to a museum, photographs, videos. Although we tend to walk as a group, you're not obligated to do that, but I will point out the address, the location, the time where lunch is, and it's your responsibility to make it back on time. And then me and the ladies all sit down and go to my locations where I've reserved lunch or dinner. And we order a la carte from the menu. I take 10 minutes to thoroughly explain the menu to you in advance so that there's no doubt of you not understanding what you're ordering. And then the waiter comes over and can answer the more fine-tuned questions. We all order what we want. And at the end of the meal, when the bill comes, 1 bill, we have to sit there without a problem and break up the cost per person. Everybody needs to have cash, and we do our best to pay the entire bill. I will have the tip covered when I am attending the lunches and dinners, and they are scheduled lunches and dinners. I have built in the tip, and you don't have to worry about it. I've built in the tip for the driver, so you don't have to do any tipping. If you feel the driver has been exceptional, which most ladies do, then they'll throw a little something in the envelope on top of the tips that I prepare for the driver from when you paid for the package. We then all are done eating at 2 o'clock, slowly, gracefully. We share bottles of wine. If you order your own individual glasses, it's going to be more money, but I try to show you the most cost-effective way for ordering, even taglieras, which are butcher block, cutting board, mixed plates, in addition to your primary plates. The women are shocked at how affordable the food is, how delicious it is, and they're getting multi-course meals and more than one glass of wine usually. Although we ask nobody get drunk. And what else? Then when we're done, 2 hours eating, 2 hours shopping and walking, we get back in the vehicle, we relax, and it becomes the driver's responsibility to bring us back to the hotel. We get back, in the America, it would be late afternoon, but by Italian standards, it would be early afternoon. You go back to the hotel, you take a nap, you rest, you sleep, you do whatever you want. And then we usually have a 7:30 dinner scheduled somewhere. I try to show up at the hotel 7:15 to grab you guys, and then we all walk down together. Sometimes once you've had enough experience of my village, the ladies will know where it is, and one woman will usually take the lead and say, I can get the ladies to the restaurant, and then we meet at the restaurant. Dinner reservations are usually made at 7:30, but that is a half hour earlier than when Italy really wants the dinners to be made. They want to open at 8, the earliest, and 8:30 or 9. But I know that most of my ladies, we get tired. So if we go there at 7:30, it's easily 2 hours. At 9:30, we then leave, and we start the walk back to the hotel. There's a code on the gate. You put the code in, the gate opens, you get in. Then there's a code on the door. You put the code on the door, and then you go in, and then you get your key, and you got your own room. They do have a honesty bar, which has some rum or something, that if the ladies want to have liqueur in the evening, they write down what they consumed. And you can, and nobody's there, but they do have video cameras, and you can have a couple of drinks, go to bed early, and then it starts all over again. We end up going out on 6 scheduled day trips. We have 1 tour in the village, but over these 7 days, we actually hit 9 hilltop villages. Most of the days, they're 1 villages, but 2 days, they're 2 villages. I invite you into a pre-coaching group 3 months earlier. You meet everybody, you get all your tips. These are really high-end foodie restaurants that are extremely affordable. So your pickup from the airport, all your driving days, your hotel stay for the standard room, private room, is all in the flat price. I think it's $4,850, I think, for the standard, but you have to check on when you follow the links. You have to do a contract online, which you just sign and agree, understand that it's not disability friendly, and a couple of questions, and then you're brought to PayPal, and you have to make a $875 PayPal deposit, which does accept credit cards. And then what else? Then I don't have the dates clear in my mind, but since I know there's only standard rooms, which means the balance after the $875 would be $2,000 and $2,000, my memory is saying that the next payment is $2,000, and it's either the end of November, early December, and then the following and final payment is $2,000 again. And my memory is saying it's like February 7th, maybe. So, but rely on the dates on the website because I can't always remember. I will not be doing a 3rd Best of Italy's Hilltop Villages. A couple of women keep thinking, oh, I can wait a couple of days before I make the decision. And then they get a hold of me and they go, well, I thought I had time. I have no way to calculate how many women sign up and when. I just wanted to get through filling the first trip, and I'm already through only having 3 spots left on the second trip. It's non-refundable deposit, non-refundable payments. You need to have travel medical insurance that I can help you with, or you can buy it yourself. If you think you want trip cancellation insurance, then I do recommend you buy it. I can help you with that. So that's about it. You're basically invited into my life. These are my favorite villages. that I've gone to for years, most tours will not even touch these villages. You can only even enter the village on small vehicles. 12-person vehicles don't even get up to these hilltops. Therefore, it is not cost effective for tours to take you there. And they can't always control a restaurant because they need to get their cut of the bill from the restaurant, and they have to give you a group meal. My restaurants don't do that. But these are real, exquisite. Price-wise, I'd say it's less than $80 a day for lunch and dinner, and that is 1 or 2 glasses of wine, an appetizer, your primary meal, dessert, and maybe a cappuccino. The women were shocked that it was so inexpensive and the quality of the food could not be touched in America. And I'm 61. I'm disabled, although I get around great. I'm an ex-athlete, and I am a heart patient. Each lady has got their own issue. I make sure they understand that wheelchairs, canes, walkers, oxygen tanks, I'm sorry, that ain't going to happen on this tour. You can't. And everyone is responsible for their own ability. Last time, of all things, I did a nosedive. I tripped. My ladies were with me. I did a full face plant on my knees. I actually have a funky scar on my one knee. Both knees were bleeding, and I had 2 nurses on the trip, and they ran over to take care of me. And then shortly thereafter, like an hour later when we left Calcutta, an Italian had fallen face down, and my ladies ran over to interact with her and put Band-Aids on her and fix her up. And it's just a real authentic experience. You don't get that on your typical tours. So at this point, I would say if you're interested, you got to pull the trigger. You got to move forward because there's only 3 spots. And if you want to have a clarity call with me, you fill out the forms and you send a message somewhere saying, I want to talk to you. But you can even come through Facebook Messenger and send me a message even without being friends. I check them each day. And I go in and say, hey, Francesca, I'm interested in the tour, but I got some questions. But when you send me that message, just give me your phone number and give me your state. And then I will text you as soon as I see it. And then I'll set up a time for us to chat and talk. And we'll see whether it's a match for you and a match for me. So that's about it. I hope you join me. There's 3 spots and it's exciting. I love what I do. I'm very blessed. And I'm blessed to have all of you. So I just want you to know that. Ciao tutti. Bye.